Hello, Kindred Spirits, and welcome back to Bits and Bob's Divination. My name is Caitlin, and together we are going to be diving in to see what you have for the biggest, highest energies coming in for the month of March, but also to look into the charms to see what they have to say for Pisces season. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Alright, so welcome back, my beautiful kindred spirits, and anyone new who may be joining us here on the channel today. I do pick a card readings, educational videos on charm casting, as well as some art magic thrown in there too. So if you're interested in any or all of that, I put out new videos every single Monday, so do feel free to subscribe. But today we are going to be looking into, as I mentioned, March, what March has in store for all of you, but also to see what the charms have to say for Pisces season. So if you are a Pisces, happy birthday to you for this month, but if you aren't, this is still going to apply to you. So we're going to see how the Pisces energy is really coming through for everyone. But before we really start diving into each of the piles here, I just want to remind you that there are lots of different ways to support this space and to keep this space running, as well as to support yourself through the snail mail readings that I do. I currently still have a few more slots open for relationship readings if you want to look into a specific relationship in your life, whether platonic, romantic, spiritual, or otherwise. And I also have digital readings that you can look into as well through email or DM for any question or query on your mind that you'd like to explore together. I also, outside of readings, do custom charm mats for your charm readings that are embroidered and custom to, any shape or design that you're interested in. And I also do create handmade spell and ritual papers for each of the Sabbats that might interest you as well. So do feel free to check out all the information on all of those down below. Again, a great way to support this space, great way to support this channel, and support yourself magically and more personally. So feel free to check that all out. Helpful reviews on my Instagram, more information over there as well. And just thank you to everyone who has supported this space, whether it's with a like, whether it's with a comment, whether it's just hanging out here with me each Monday. I do see you, and I really do appreciate your presence here in this community. With that said, though, let's go ahead and look at the piles. So for each of the piles, I was feeling called to each of these different crystals. So if you're feeling called to pile 1, it might be because you're feeling called to this specific crystal of this Snowflake Obsidian. So if you're feeling called to this one, pile 1 might be for you. Here for pile number 2, you have the crystal choice here of blue Calcite. It's very light, it's very hilly and rocky and rough here, but it's also really, really beautiful. So that is pile number 2. And then last but not least here for pile number 3, you have this piece of Azurite with all these teeny tiny little blue crystals. So that is pile number 3. But as always, before you start heading off to the timestamps, I like to invite you to take a deep and cleansing breath here with me so you can really connect with your intuition, connect with the piles, connect with your own March and Pisces energy, and we're going to see what comes forward here. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath together here now. And you're welcome to choose any or all of the piles here. You can choose all 3 of the piles. You can flip-flop between them. You can take little bits and pieces as you go. There really are no right or wrong ways, no rules here. All the timestamps will be down below in the description alongside the chapter marks of this video. And like I said, if you're interested in any or all of those offerings, feel free to check them out down below, as it's a great way to support this space and yourself. So with that all said, let's go ahead and dive in here with pile number 1. Hello group 1, if you decide to choose this piece of Snowflake Obsidian, then this is the pile for you. So we can look into your month of March to see what's going on for you for inspiration for Pisces season, as well as a little bit of insight into your relationships and other bigger dynamics happening for you this month. Using the charms, using several different oracle decks, we're also going to be using a little bit more specific charms as well as a bigger deep dive into Pisces season. But all of the different things that we're going to be using here today will be listed in the description down below, so you can check out the different decks and supplies that we're using up to today. But do feel free to get yourself settled, get yourself cozy for this as always. And I always invite you to use your own intuition as we move through these piles. So There might be certain specific different things that are really, spiking out your intuition, or really calling out to your intuition for this month, and definitely see where those lead. Play around with them, get curious here with me, and, put your own intuition and spin on the reading. But we're going to be looking in, so do feel free to send your energy in through time and space. And we're going to start with 3 or more cards looking into the main energies coming forward most for the month of March. So let's get right into it. So group 1, what do you got going on for the month of March here? We'll see if we take that one as well. But here we are, first off with the World. This card has a lot to do with finishing up cycles, tying up loose ends, completing something. You also have the Knight of Wands showing up here as well. It's got a lot of this raring to go energy. The Knight of Wands is very fiery, as it is a Wands card, but they're very determined and very... The way that they're just like looking you straight on and showing this panel of them looking straight on gives me this feeling too that there's like a lot of determination, a lot of forward movement for you this month, and a very clear direction to take, especially with that World card. What else might be coming in for you this month? Group 1. And then to finish things off, you have the Tower. So where you have all of this determination, where you have a lot of things not feeling very confusing, very, finishing up, tying up those loose ends, there also might be a few things that the universe wants to just whack at you and throw at you as well this month, as the Tower has a lot to do with unexpected things outside of your control that might throw you off or throw you for a bit of a loop this month. So when we're looking at the holistic picture here, it really at the heart of the entire month, because we didn't get the Tower as the heart of the month, right? The heart of this entire month is just finishing off some loose ends, cleaning things up, tying things up, and then also the World can talk about celebrating too, celebrating how far you've come, giving yourself a little bit of a pat on the back if you haven't done that in a while, reminding yourself, that you did that hard thing, you got that thing done, even if it's something simple or seemingly small or mundane of a task to someone else, it means something to you, and that's all that really matters. So I really feel like this month is about really getting some momentum and getting some movement and forward movement on those things that have been kind of stuck, stagnant, or just they're close to finishing up, but you just haven't been there yet. You're waiting for that last little thing. You're waiting for that call to come in. You're waiting for that little bit of courage, whatever it might be. But the Knight of Wands is definitely showing this determination, this go-getter energy, and this like forward momentum. And it feels not forceful, but like I said, it feels so determined and so strong. Like I feel like you guys really are going to get some stuff done this month. So that's really exciting. If you guys are hoping to get some things done or try to get some momentum on some stuff, that's definitely happening. The Tower, on the other hand, is telling me that there could be some minor setbacks coming in as well, that you might find that there are just like things outside of your control. So if you're like working on your house, you might find like a pipe is leaking, or you try to go to the mail, but your car didn't have gas, or like some minor inconveniences or minor setbacks, and the things that you are very determined to finish up or complete this month. Because it's falling towards the side, it's not giving me this feeling that it's going to be these overwhelming big things that are going to be really shaking up your world, but it feels like there's going to be these minor inconveniences, these setbacks, these annoyances that are going to be kind of just like a bug in your ear. So just keeping that in mind, giving yourself a little bit more patience, reminding yourself that it's okay, that you've definitely got the skills to move through any situation that the universe sort of throws at you this month. And if anything, it's just going to give you more resilience for the months to come, especially as we start to move from, at least here in the northern hemisphere, of the winter months, and March can start to set the stage for what spring might look like and the energy of spring for you. And on the flip side, in the southern hemisphere, it's also flipping over to fall for you, and that might also, or autumn, it might also change things as well in terms of that, and how it might be setting the stage. So really feeling a lot of determination, resilience, motivation, and momentum this month for sure. But let's see what else you have coming in for some blessings on their way in. I like to see these cards as energy that is most in your favor this month, or a blessing from the universe, from gods, goddesses, spirit guides, whatever, and whomever you work with. So we're going to see what that is for you this month. Energy most on your side, or a blessing. What is coming forward for group? Almost I'm feeling two. I'm going to take both of these as well. Oh, that's so neat. But here you are with animals and spirit guide. I don't know if I've ever gotten these two together, but it makes sense, right? So this is like an animal spirit guide that might be helping you, or being a blessing, or bringing a blessing to your life as well. So this might be a loved one that has passed. This might be a spirit guide in the real world that you might find, like, you know, a raven, it keeps showing up near your house, or that squirrel, or whatever it might be. There could be just an animal giving you some, you know, animal augury, or telling you some messages beyond the veil, or giving you some sort of signs from spirit. So it could be going a lot of different ways, but definitely just look for the animals in your neighborhood, look for the signs that are coming in for you seasonally, see what those might mean to you, see if they have any inspiration to give you, if they have any insights or intuitive messages that you're going to feel out. If it seems like that's not a message, it probably isn't, right? But if you're looking and you're open to it, you might find that you get this like feeling in your gut when you're looking at, you know, that raven, or this feeling about that owl sound, or this feeling that something is clicking or shifting or changing, or just giving you a bit of a sign of hope or inspiration of where to go next. So just keep this in mind. I do feel like that is going to be your biggest blessing this month, is what they're going to give you, but also that they just have your back this month for sure. Especially if you already work with any animal spirit guides, or with guides who, you know, speak through animals or have a connection. Definitely keep an eye on what they might be sharing with you this month. And for those of you who don't work with any spirit guides as well, just in general, animals, if you like work with animals or something like that, it could be something more specific to your job or your profession. So do keep that in mind too, that it might be a blessing coming in a form of that more literal sense. So keeping that in mind, we're going to move to the relationship message portion of this month. So I felt, because it is Pisces season, I would pull out some more of my watery cards, and we're going to see with these sea melody cards what relationship energies are coming forward for you. So you can go ahead and think and kind of send your own energy of a specific relationship you might be wanting to look into this month, especially if you already have one in mind, but and it might even be with a spirit guide. But otherwise, we're going to be looking for the overarching messages coming forward for the collective. So let's see, group 1, overarching collective messages on relationship dynamics this month for group 1 here. I'm feeling these back cards. So what you got here, I'm feeling like just pulling a bunch of cards today. So you have both breathe, with break free from the water's surface and soar up beyond the turquoise sea with this beautiful soaring bird. And then you also have stillness here. In calm waters, everything becomes clear. So it does feel like, it almost feels like it's going in this direction, right? Like you're taking a moment to really listen, or it really feels like listening, right? Sometimes we have conversations with loved ones or others, or even spirit guides, and we're not taking the time to really listen or hear what they are actually trying to say. Sometimes we're already thinking about what our rebuttal will be, or what we're going to say next, or how we're going to respond, and we're not actually just taking a moment to be present with them, listen to their needs, listen to their wants, listen to just how they're feeling, and taking it all in before reacting. So I really feel like you might be finding that a bit of stillness, taking a bit of time with someone, being there for someone even, or listening to messages or signs coming in from spirit could be really important for you this month. And then on top of that, with breathe, that kind of just shows how that's going to bring a little bit of peace, open, your breath with someone, open a conversation with someone again, So it really feels like if you've been having a bit of a hard time communicating with someone over these last few months or over these last few weeks, even days, this is just a really good message to showcase that you guys are going to get on the same foot again. You're definitely finding a bit more of a rhythm with them, and really listening and hearing them out is going to be the best course of action. So that's what we have so far. As you can see, I don't really have any other cards to pull here, and we talked about pulling some charms in a different way today. So what I'm actually going to do is take this little guy here and flip it over and put it on the back so we can pull some charms that are going to be specific to Pisces season. So even if you're not a Pisces, this can still apply to you, because we are in Pisces season, all about inspiration, about feeling our emotions, getting really connected to that Neptunian energy, and getting in that imaginative, fantasy, dreamy state. So what I want to do is look into what might be inspiring you this month and what might give you a bit of inspiration this month. So we're going to see how you might find some inspiration, maybe motivation this month through the charms, and also see if any others fall anywhere else on the map. But if you have been enjoying this reading so far, do be sure to give this video a like. It really does help the channel, so thank you. But we're going to go ahead and pull those charms. So feel free, as always, to really send your energy into the charms. We're going to see what Pisces energy kind of flies back out at you with some inspiration. Okay, so I tried to drop them all here, but I was curious if any would, fall anywhere else, but you didn't actually have any others fall on any of the other cards that we have here. So we're really just going to focus on the charms that fell here. So in that case, I'm just going to move them over for you and make a little bit of room. So this is what we've got coming in here. The first charm that's really calling out to me most is the fact that you have the closure charm falling up here. So when I think of a button, right, it's an opportunity to open or close something, but usually I see this one as closure, closing something off, finishing off a chapter. So we do have that showing up here already with the World card, with the idea of tying up loose ends. So you might be feeling inspired to start something new, or because you closed a chapter, you might be starting something new. So whether this is the thing you're closing or opening yourself up to, it might be related to a band, to music, being inspired by music, or maybe even being inspired to take up an instrument or learning something of that, something around music in that way. So we have that coming up here with the violin, whether you're being inspired by it or closing a chapter with it. You also have the Lego charm showing up here right up in the center. When I think of a Lego, it makes me think of sometimes I can see it as pain, more of those setbacks, it feels connected to that, like a foundation that you're building, right? The building blocks of something. The tower has a lot to do with breaking things down to build things back up. So those setbacks are definitely going to be giving you more resilience. So you might be inspired to create something or to get something. Maybe it'll even inspire you to, sometimes when we have setbacks, it inspires us to even push harder, to put even more effort in. So I do see that maybe coming in for you, especially with the Sagittarius energy coming in too, because it can have that same momentum, that same keeping your aim, keeping your focus, staying focused energy. So we have that. Sagittarius also says optimistic here. I feel like you're going to be very inspired by the Pisces energy to, keep that momentum, finish things off. It's a lot to do with the energy we've already had come in here as well. But it also might be something just in general. If you want to look at these more literally, you might literally be doing something with Legos that inspire you. You also have the ladybug charm. So when it comes to animals, spirit guides, that sort of thing, I do see that ladybugs can, have maybe a play in that, or insects. Also in general, the ladybug, especially since it's on, this little clip-on earring, it makes me think of listening for those small little messages, listening for those little inklings that you get in your gut, that feeling, because it's listening out for them, right? It's making sure to listen for the signs, even if they seem small, because sometimes those are what are really leading us forward. You also have this little cross, sort of pharaoh-ish cross energy showing up here. So that might be related to spirit guides. It also can be related to your culture or your religion, being a source of inspiration. You also have the creativity charm. Whenever I see this little orange, I don't know why, it just makes me think of creative energy. Oranges in general can make me think of, that fiery creative energy. So this is making me think that creativity of any form could be really useful to look even deeper into. I just did an entire video on creativity that you might find really useful. There's also the security charm, feeling secure in yourself, feeling secure in your abilities, which makes sense. And then you have the owl. So you have a lot of animal spirits and energies related to those wise spirits wanting to help you this month to give you some more inspiration. So I also just think spirit guides you may not know what that inspiration is right now, but they're definitely leading you there, leading you towards an opportunity. So where there is closure happening at the bottom up here, you have a lot of opportunities that are, doors opening with this key here. So you might find these have a more literal message for you of things that might inspire you, or you're dreaming about, or opening yourself up to opportunities with. But sometime during this Pisces energy, these charms might have more meaning to you as the month goes on, but do feel free to, reference them or come back to them and see what else you might find. But overall, those are all of the charms and cards that I have here for you for the month of March and for Pisces season. If you did enjoy this reading, as always, do be sure to give this video a like. Really, really helps the channel. And let me know in the comments down below. I don't always reply right away, but I do read every comment that comes through, and I love to hear your feedback. Love to hear, what you saw in the charms, in the cards, in the piles, maybe how they each connected. And also, if you're interested in seeing more pick a card readings like this, or into charms, or into art magic, creativity, those sorts of things, then definitely feel free to subscribe, as I put out new videos every single Monday that might interest you. And even though it is technically a March reading, for the last little week of February that I'm going to have this out for, feel free to check out the relationship readings that I have open right now, and other offerings such as making custom charm mats for you, or if you have an interest in art magic and things like that, you might like the spell and ritual papers that I create for different Sabbats. But if any of that interests you, definitely feel free to check that all out down below or on my Instagram with helpful reviews and other ideas, because that's a great way to support this channel and support yourself. So thank you so much for being here with me, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hello group 2, if you've decided to choose this chunk of blue calcite, then this is the pile for you. We are going to be diving in to see what you have coming in for the month of March with the charms, as well as different oracle and tarot decks, and we'll also be playing around with some more specific charms for the Pisces season messages that might be coming in for you as well. Happy birthday to any Pisces or Pisceans. I'm not exactly sure the exact words for it, but happy birthday to all of you. But we'll be looking into your season and how it applies to everyone, as well as the month of March. So do feel free to get yourself settled, get yourself cozy. If you're curious what we're using here today in the different sets, charms, tarot cards, and cards, then do feel free to check out the description down below, where I'll have everything laid out. But we are going to be diving in first to look into the monthly messages specific to March to see what's coming in for those main overarching themes and energies for you this month. So let's pull some cards, and as always, feel free to use your own intuition as we move through this, especially since we're going to be using more charm messages today. Feel free to see what you see in the charms. Use literal or more metaphorical, spiritual ideas, and we're going to see what comes forward for you. So we're going to pull 3 cards, main energies. So month of March, the main energies for the month of March for group 2. So we have the 9 of Cups. I don't know why I had the feeling that the 9 of Cups was going to come forward today. And this specific 9 of Cups in general, the Nine of Cups can represent a wish-making card. So if you've been making any wishes, if you've been wishing on some stars, if you've been doing any kind of manifestation work or magic, this might be a good sign and a good omen to showcase to you that there could be some good luck coming your way when it comes to that, or those wishes might be heard, and maybe even you might find that some of them are coming true. So that's one way of interpreting the Nine of Cups. But also the Nine of Cups can talk about sort of feeling more emotionally free, feeling less caged in your emotions, and feeling like you're more fulfilled. So there's a lot of fulfillment coming forward, and wishes and good luck already coming in with this first card, but we're going to look deeper. I'm actually feeling this one as well. You also have the Eight of Cups, so maybe where this fulfillment is coming from, especially since you have this specific Nine of Cups showcasing a cage. The Eight of Cups has a lot to do with where the Nine of Cups comes right after the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is all about kind of leaving something behind that no longer fulfills you. Taking the steps, taking the time to, put those bad habits, well, maybe not bad habits, but put down the habits or the rituals that no longer serve you, or maybe they served you once, but they don't serve you now in the context of your life at this moment. In this case, this person's sort of leaving behind these messages, behind these little notes or letters even, as they don't really serve them anymore. They're ready to leave this part of them behind, or part of this situation behind, this person behind, this memory behind. It can also talk about forgiveness, and that being a way of kind of lifting your spirits or lifting yourself back up. So we have a lot showing up here within your emotions, which are the cup cards. But I want to look if there's anything else coming forward for you. Ooh. So the card that was calling out to me with everything that fell is the Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands has this very determined energy about them. It kind of feels like they're placing down some boundaries. They are making space for themselves. There's this optimistic sunflower down at the bottom near them. There's this fierceness, this tenacity in their eyes, So I really like that. And this cat showing up here again up on them. It feels very independent, like the habit, ritual, person, situation, piece of a situation that you're leaving behind this month is related to the freedom that you might be feeling as the month goes on, and the feeling that you're going to be gaining some more confidence, gaining more fitting, gaining more independence, free from this situation, this habit, this ritual, this person. So really, that's the biggest things, the biggest stuff that I'm seeing here. And then that wish-making energy, as well as this intense, fierce, tenacious energy coming forward from your cards. I'm not really getting specifically what the situation is about. I'm sure you probably already know what it might be that you need to leave behind, whether it's a habit, ritual, person, situation, piece of a situation, or, a collection of things. But there's something that you're just, there's only so much you can carry. And right now you need to put some things down so that you can, feel freer, take some of the weight off that's been emotionally sort of dumped on you for so long, so that you can feel a little bit more free, a little bit more independent of these situations, and to kind of lift your spirits again, because the Nine of Cups is all about lifting your spirits. I mean, look at this little cat. This little cat looks just so happy and so yeah, I did that, So there is this confidence that I'm also feeling, and this feeling as well with boundaries coming forward from the Queen of Wands, this feeling of I put my foot down, I put my mark in the sand. There's only so much I can control, but the things that I can control are my actions, my reactions to others, to a situation, and how I'm going to respond. So that's sort of what I'm seeing here with the Queen of Wands, is sort of putting your foot down, putting some boundaries with either people or even sometimes with yourself. But we do have that coming in. There's this fierce energy though. So I'm very excited to see what else might be coming through with that one. With that in mind, though, let's look a little further. So we're going to be pulling a card to see your blessing for the month. So this could be a blessing from a spirit guide, or a spirit that you work with, a god, a goddess, the universe, anywhere or any way in which you work with spirit might be bringing a blessing. But you can also just see this as a energy most in your favor this month, a tool best in your tool belt. So we're going to see what that might be. Group 2 here. The tool that is going to be best in your tool belt. Yep, definitely feeling that fierce energy coming forward again. Because look at the eyes. Look at the eyes. You are looking someone in the face. You are telling someone off. You are, there's just like this, like, I feel like maybe right now you're not necessarily feeling it, or it's been building for a while, but there just feels like you need to get something out. You need to express something, but that I feel like you're going to be expressing it, and it's going to be bold, right? Look at this huge sun behind them. They have this immense power in their gaze. And so there's this empowerment energy coming forward, that you're empowering yourself to gain freedom, to gain independence, to gain space and peace of mind, to gain fulfillment for yourself. Ooh, this one's giving me chills. So I hope you guys feel this month. I hope you really get some more empowerment. I feel that it is time. You've been waiting for this for quite a long while. I feel like this has been building for a while. So loving this empowerment energy. Since this does feel related to maybe a person or a situation, I definitely am curious to see what comes in for your relationship messages as well. So I might pull 1 or 2 of these, we'll see, but I like to pull these to look into the collective messages for relationships, kind of getting a little bit of insight into relationships in your month, but during your month, words today. But if you want to look into any specific relationship, do feel free to send your energy in to the cards, and we'll see if that comes forward as well. But we're going to see what might be coming forward collectively. So group 2, I feel like I'm going to pull 1 more. Let's see. So you have recharge as well as change coming in here. So first off, recharge came up. So you have these little feet in the sand, and it says recharge. There's nothing like a walk on the beach to soothe your soul. And then you also have change showing up here with this little crab changing from one shell to the next. Know when to move to a new shell, especially if yours no longer fits. So this really feels connected to that 8 of Cups energy of leaving something behind that no longer serves you, that no longer fits, that maybe once fit, but you no longer feel like it fits you anymore. You've moved to a new stage or to a new phase. Things aren't aligning in the way they once did. So there could be a lot of changes. There could be a time of space between you or another person where you need to recharge or, reconnect or find, where things maybe have felt a little bit off kilter, finding each other once again, getting on the same page even. That showed up a little bit in pile 1 as well. But it definitely feels like dynamics within your relationships, or at least a specific relationship, is really changing and shifting over the coming month. And if it isn't a specific relationship, if you're not sure who this might be, it can also be within yourself and your connection to yourself and how you see yourself, that might be changing as well. Especially with a little bit of reprieve and some rest from this person or from a situation, or even yourself. So that's what's coming through with these cards. But we're going to now shift gears a little bit here and look at some Pisces energy. So we're going to take this little embroidered little cloth here that I have to look into the charms that might be coming forward for Pisces season. So normally I pull cards, but today I felt called to pull the charms and see what charms are coming in to give you a little bit of inspiration, to sprinkle some inspiration in your life for this month, because Pisces season and Pisces people in general are they're very inspirational. They're very they live in that dreamy Neptunian fantasy, storytelling, creative energy. So I want to see how you might be able to connect with that energy within yourself and sort of pull some inspiration from your creative well this month. So we're going to see what's coming in for you. So let's see. Group 2 here. And if you are enjoying this reading, by the way, do feel free to give this video a like. Really does help the channel. So truly thank you. But let's go ahead and pull some charms. Group 2. So let's see. Zoom you in a little bit here. Let's see what you got here. So I'm actually going to leave this one on the change and this one over here. So we had some of them fall, here, I'll go ahead and zoom you out a little bit because you can't see that one, but we had some of them fall in different spaces. So we're going to see, I'm going to actually focus first on the ones that fell on the cards. So first off, you do have the calling charm. So whenever I see this one, I can't get it to turn around, but whenever you see this one come forward, it usually represents a calling or someone trying to get your attention. So like usually spirit or some sort of like, it almost feels like an inner calling for you, like something you've been hearing for a while. Maybe you've been silencing it inside, not wanting to listen to it, but somewhere within you in your instincts, in your intuition from spirit, it's been calling you, knowing that this is something that's been on its way for a while. You knew that you needed that empowerment. You knew that you needed that change. You knew that that shell needed to come in and change and shift. You've been feeling the shifts and changes happening within you already, that you're leveling up, that you're changing, that you're feeling this calling. And that's definitely coming forward here. Possibly for about a quarter of the year or within the last quarter of the previous year, you'd been feeling that like the last 3 to 4 months, because you do have the quarter here. So whenever I see this too, it just feels like something is flipping, something is changing, something is shifting and pivoting, but also that it's happening within, a quarter of time. So that might give you a little bit more about the timing of which this change has been coming in. On top of that, the fact that you got the cage and the key is telling me that it's something that only you can make these changes for. Like you can't, if you wait for change to happen, if you wait for these changes to happen, if you wait for someone to change, if you wait for the shoe to no longer fit, if you wait for some sort of indication from the universe that this is the time, that this is the day, that this is the moment to make these changes, it's never going to come. It has to come from you, from the inside. It has to be, you have the key at the end of the day. It just has to be when you decide to use it, right? So that's really what I'm seeing here, is that it's definitely the key is in your hands. The ball is in your court. As for Pisces energy coming in here, I find this really interesting because recently one of my little charms here has actually broke because, that happens. It is just like a little cardboard piece of a puzzle, but I haven't actually seen them come up together recently. So this is the first time they've ever come up together. I mean, this bowl of charms is huge. So to have them both come up here is telling me that you also, if you've been waiting for something to come in, a missing piece to a puzzle, or something like that you've been waiting for something to connect, it might be happening this month, especially when it comes to getting inspiration to maybe make changes. You also have a lot of stars coming forward here, lots of silver stars. Silver stars telling you too that you're not exactly perfect, that things aren't going to turn out perfect, right? There's still going to be holes in your plans. There's still going to be setbacks. There's still going to be hard things, but I feel like you're still going to be inspired to go after it. You're still inspired to empower yourself regardless, especially once you use that key. Stars also showcasing like a feeling of protection. You also have here the little turtle or tortoise shell. Sometimes that's what I see it as, or some sort of shell. So when I'm looking at this specific one, it's making me think of, taking things slow, taking things at your own pace, but that things are starting to speed up. And the reason why I'm getting this feeling of speeding up, this inspiration to make these changes, is because it's next to this giant airplane, or it's a toy airplane in this case, but it feels like you're toying or playing with the idea of speeding things up on something you've been kind of held back or reserved on for quite a while, maybe because you've been waiting for this piece. Maybe it's just been a temporary situation with the temporary charm of the paperclip here, but regardless, your path is changing. So we have that showing up here. The toy airplane can also represent that what might inspire you as well is taking a little trip, going on a little mini vacation. This doesn't have to be something big like actually having to get on a plane of some sort, but it can represent just needing, a little vacation, just taking a little day trip somewhere to gain a little bit of wellness, to open yourself up again, because we do have the lotus here as well, which can talk about, like if you think of it literally, like a lot of spas use lotuses and like their logos and things. So I am also seeing that maybe that might be where you're taking this trip towards. You also have like this tiny little screw here. I'm not really getting a ton from the other charms, to be honest, but, you know, feel free to look at them and see if there's something else coming through for you. But those are all of the charms and cards that I have here for you today here, group 2. If you did enjoy this reading, as always, do be sure to give this video a like and let me know in the comments down below what you see in your March messages, in your Pisces messages, what you might already be feeling that is inspiring you, or what changes might be coming in, if you feel comfortable. And if you are interested in pick a card readings like this and you want to see more of them for more empowerment, or for looking into art magic, or to look deeper into charm casting, I have educational videos and such on that, as well as more pick a cards. So do feel free to subscribe, as I put out new videos every single Monday that might interest you. And on top of that, there are lots of different ways you can support this space, as well as support yourself through the snail mail readings that I do, digital readings. Right now I have relationship readings out right now that might be really fun. And if you want to look into more about this situation, you can definitely feel free to message me and we can, see what we can do for a reading for you. On top of that, I also do spell and ritual papers that might be really helpful for you if you want to do some manifestation or some magic along those lines for that wish-making feeling. And if you're feeling, more towards charm casting and things like that, I actually do create some handmade and hand-embroidered charm cloths that are custom to you and, your needs. So do feel free to check all of that out down below, and all of the helpful reviews and things like that on my Instagram. And I'm wishing you the best for your month of March and for this Pisces season, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hello group 3, if you've decided to choose this piece of Azurite, then this is the pile for you for the month of March, as we dive into not only March with the biggest and highest energies, your blessings, relationship messages, but we're also going to look into the charms coming in and the inspirations that Pisces season is bringing in for you. So whether you're a Pisces, which happy birthday to those of you who are, or not, these are still going to apply to you. So we're going to see what that is with the charms, the tarot cards, the different decks and supplies here, which I'll have listed down below in the description in case you're curious to see what we're using. But we're going to be diving in first into the main energies coming forward, the overarching energies coming forward for you for the month of March. So do feel free to send your own energy in to get comfortable and cozy here. And we're going to see what's coming in for you. So let's just dive right in, group 3. Let's do it. So group 3, what do you got coming in for the month of March? Okay, so first off, we have the 4 of Pentacles alongside the 10 of Cups. So before we really dive into these two, I want to pull your final card here on the biggest and highest energies and themes coming forward for you for the month of March. You know what? We're going to take both of them because I'm feeling both of these cards. So where these two feel connected, these two feel connected. So they almost feel like two little pockets here of different parts and things happening for you for the month. So where you have the 4 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups here, you have Strength and the Hierophant coming in over here. So let's go ahead and just start with these two, right? Why not? I already have them up here. So here we are with Strength and the Hierophant, and these are both really big major arcana cards. So if you're not familiar with tarot, there are the major cards, which usually talk about the major, bigger, overarching life events that are happening, and then you have the minor cards, which would be both the 4 and the 10 here. So when we get a lot of major arcana cards coming forward, it usually represents bigger life events or things that are related to bigger overarching themes that are probably going to be not only related to this month, but months after or months before. So this might be energy you've already been in, stuff that's not really new to you, or is about to be a bigger overarching energy for you. So with all of that in mind, the Hierophant talks about something that you are, especially with the Strength card, it's telling me that there's something that you're learning, or you're, especially with these keys and this bear here, I really feel like the Hierophant is talking about something that you are learning or teaching to someone. So maybe you're a teacher, maybe you are getting into teaching, maybe you are a student, maybe you are just in general a student of life, and there's something that you're learning, a hobby, a skill, something you've been really working hard to complete, but the fact that you have strength coming in here is telling me that you are trying to overcome an obstacle or a situation that's been kind of difficult for you around this Hierophant card. Something you've been learning. It could be, like I said, very mundane, regular growth, like just regular skills and hobbies and things like that, but it could also be like life lessons, right? That's what the Hierophant can also be teaching us, is life lessons, really big life lessons that we really have to learn and grow and be resilient to and gain resilience from and gain strength and courage and all that fun stuff. But difficult situations sometimes cause us to also have to learn some bigger, harsher life lessons. So this might apply to you guys in very mundane, simple ways or much more bigger, overarching ways, but in general, you probably already know what this is, and if you don't, it will be on its way fairly soon, and I'm sure you will know, but this is coming forward for you for sure in the month of March, and we'll see if other cards really allude to more of what this Hierophant is specifically talking about. But these two cards feel more specific to just the month of March. Again, they couldn't be related to these, but these are more like the everyday things. So we have the 10 of Cups here and the 4 of Pentacles. And the 10 of Cups is telling me, the 10 of Cups talks about, as you can see here, like it's all rainbows. They've got this little rainbow up here. They've got these little nightcaps on. Like everything's good. Everything's hunky-dory. Everything's almost perfect. Almost too perfect. And this isn't to say that things are too perfect in your life, but it just means that because this 4 of Pentacles is all about holding tightly onto things to the point that it almost is smothering them, or holding so tightly you're not even really enjoying them, you know? That's what the 4 of Pentacles is giving. It's giving like holding so tightly onto those you love or onto a situation that gives you a lot of fulfillment or makes you feel happy, makes you feel, you know, just all the really good, happy, good things that are going on in your life, that I think you're trying to hold on to them so tightly that nothing can change, nothing can happen, nothing can spoil this moment, nothing can get in your way, that it's you kind of getting in your own way, if that makes any sense. So this is just more of like, as you move through the month, maybe giving a little bit more space, allowing more setbacks to happen, allowing things to go wrong, allowing yourself to make mistakes, or allowing things not to be so picture perfect, because I think that it's putting a lot of pressure on yourself or putting a lot of pressure on those around you to keep this perfect image, this perfect picture, this perfect whatever situation it might be, so aligned and perfect that it's really hard to maintain and puts a lot of strain and pressure on you and those around you. So this is more, might be related to that life lesson, but this is more of the energy that's coming forward. It's not to say that you aren't going to have beautiful, wonderful events and things that are happening in your life, but just giving it a little bit more of a breather, allowing yourself a little bit more space there. The 4 of Pentacles can also talk about, you know, maybe not spending as much this month. It can be a more like mundane, regular message here, but just in general, can be a bit of an advice to not spend as much, to be a little bit more frugal, or to use some coupons to get a little bit more savvy with how you're spending or, you know, using your money or other resources in your life. But that is really the energies that are coming in overarchingly for you. But let's look a little bit further into the blessing coming forward for you for the month and see how it might connect. So this might be a blessing from spirit coming forward, whether you work with spirits or gods, goddesses, or others within your spiritual team. You can also see this as a energy most in your favor this month, or the tool that is best in your tool belt, right? The one that you're going to be holding on to, and it's going to really make an impact for you this month. So we're going to see what that might be for you. I'm actually going to take this one. So we have trust. That's a really good card to come in, especially with the 4 of Pentacles, where the 4 of Pentacles is feeling like you can't trust that this is going to stay. So you just hold on to it until you got these white knuckles, right? Trust is about trusting that, you know, you're going to find your way if things go wrong. You're going to find your way. You have this resiliency in you. You have this strength in you that you have to trust that you're capable to move through more difficult situations, and that the waves and change is going to be coming in. So I really feel like the energy that's coming through for you is even though trust is coming forward and it is a blessing on its way in, I almost feel like any guides that you're working with, it's kind of one of those energies where it's like they're kind of like giving you, they're sort of like putting you in situations that might be more difficult, but because they know you can handle it. Does that make sense? It always makes me think of like that scene in Harry Potter where Ron's like, you're gonna suffer, but you're gonna be happy about it. So it's like, it's gonna have a happy ending at the end, but you might be going through more difficult situations right now that are going to give you that sort of strength that you might need to move through these situations. So that's kind of what I'm getting here. It's almost like Spirit doesn't want you to get in a situation where you're holding on so tightly you become stagnant, or that things become stale. Like they're trying to keep things moving and grooving for you. And I feel like it's really like a trust in them as well as a trust in yourself that's coming forward here. Alongside that though, it can also just be that trusting in the advice of friends and people around you who really have your best interests in mind. Could be something as well, like in terms of like a tool in your tool belt. So that's also coming forward with trust here. Speaking of relationships, we're going to pull a relationship card now. So this is going to be the collective message for the relationships in general, the dynamics that are happening in relationships within your life for the month of March. But you can also, feel free to send your own energy in and see if the cards respond to see a specific message for any relationship in your life that you kind of want to look into, whether it's platonic, with a spirit, with yourself, with a friend, romantic partner, however you wish. But we're going to see. So group 3 here. What do we got coming in here for group 3 when it comes to relationship dynamics this month? Group 3. Ooh, like several keep trying to pop out and I have to keep stopping. So we have, we've got Move and Wild, and I normally don't pull 3, but I don't know. I feel like you guys have a few coming forward here, especially since the 10 of Cups felt related to relationships in your life. And then we have Explore. Interesting. Let's see. So these might all be connected, or you might feel that this connects to 1 or 2 or more specific individuals in your life. But we have here for you Wild, showing up here with this little crown of shells, and it says, Wild, believe in your otherworldly beauty, dance with the waves and drink in the sunshine. So it might be that a relationship in your life is still very wild, free, or you might find that it's in a state where things feel very wild or chaotic. So trust your own intuition where that might come in. You also have Explore here with this little map. Map show what has already been discovered. Go another way. And then you also have here Move. Barnacles only grow on a docked ship. And there you are with the anchor there. So the fact that you got both Explore and Move, and then this wild card energy showing up here, literally a wild card. It feels like there might be someone, again, like I feel like the universe might be throwing a new wrench into things, might be throwing sort of a wild card within your relationships this month to build resiliency, to build trust with someone, that you might have to explore or move or change your dynamic with this person, or a new person might be coming in and kind of shifting and adding this wild card. So I'm really curious about what this might be, this wild card coming in. But in general, when it comes to trust and move and this change feeling, and that's this feeling of hesitancy to change, is definitely showing where the battle is for you, where the life lesson might be for you this month, is trusting in yourself, trusting in others, but also trusting that you can let go a little bit, that you don't have to hold on so tightly to those you love or to those situations in which you are trying to replicate and keep going. To explore some other ones that maybe because you're holding on so tightly, you're also missing out on certain situations or new connections that might be able to be built. So very curious to see how you guys are seeing these ones. Definitely let me know in the description, especially since I pulled, or not the description, in the comments down below, especially since I pulled 3 cards for you. But we are going to go ahead and just slide this one over a little bit, and we're going to do something different. And I usually pull another couple of cards for the season, but this time I'm going to look into Pisces season by taking this little embroidered charm cloth, which, by the way, if you want to get your own versions of these, do feel free to reach out. But we are going to cast a few charms on top of this to look into Pisces season for you and what it might be bringing in, and also what it might be inspiring in your life, like how it might be inspiring you to change, how it might be bringing in creative inspiration, these, kind of living out certain fantasies, that kind of stuff. Because Pisces energy, which, by the way, happy birthday to any Pisces out there, the Pisces season energy coming forward is all about dreaming and exploring our dreams, exploring our fantasies, exploring what inspires us or kind of motivates us to move forward. So I want to see what charms come forward when it comes to those sorts of energies. So do feel free to send your energy in, and also do feel free as well to give this video a like if you haven't already. It does really help the channel, so I appreciate it. But we're going to pull some charms for you. So here we go, group 3. Okay, so I honestly wasn't getting a ton of charms that wanted to come out specifically in this section, but you definitely had a few falling in other areas, so we're going to see what those have to say. This one keeps falling off, so I'm going to go ahead and take it out, but instead of fully zooming in, because you can't really see all of the charms here, let me move this one up. Here are the charms that you got. So what I found interesting is here on the move card, Barnacles Only Grow on a Docked Ship, you got the ancient coin. So this is an energy you've been maybe considering doing for a while, or it's a energy you've been in for a while where you really need to move, or maybe you haven't been listening to this feeling, this gut feeling in you, or this need to change or shift in a relationship to move, because this is showcasing that this has been going on for a while, because it is an ancient coin. So we have that showing up here with the move charm or card, and then you also have, on each one of these you got something. On the explore card you have the monster charm. This usually represents our fears, right? A monster in the closet kind of feeling, or a monster under our bed, right? This is that feeling that it's not necessarily that your fears aren't valid, but rather that your fears, especially since you have that strength card coming in, your fears fear is an emotion that has a purpose, right? It has a purpose, but it doesn't have to be the thing that stops us either from moving forward. So fear at the moment is kind of stopping you from being able to explore something that hasn't been discovered, to go a different way, to change this up. And then you also have here on the wild card, literally, you have the button charm. And this is like a button that is like to button up your jeans. So it really feels like you're in the wrong size, right? It feels like you've been in the wrong kind of relationships, or the wrong sort of relationship dynamics recently. And it feels like you're needing to change, size up, size down, to adjust. So that's really what I'm getting here. The wild card is going to help you to adjust, to change something that isn't really working for you, that you're kind of outgrown or don't necessarily fit into anymore. You also have over here the S charm showing up here, especially next to move. So it could be giving you an indication of a relationship that it might be talking to you about. Move also just reminded me too that this can also be that you're literally moving, maybe, and maybe it's with someone. And maybe that's been something that's been going on for a while, but we have S showing up here that might give a little bit of an indication. You also have another bottle tap charm showing up here. This one usually represents, taking the pressure off. You have so much pressure coming in from a lot of your cards that need released this month. And so I really do feel like that release is going to open up so much space for you. So if you think of this as like a can of pop or a can of soda or something like that, this is you being able to, open up a can and release the pressure in there. So what you might be releasing pressure from might be something that has been weighing on you for a while, because this is the really heavy weight charm. This is something that's been building up resentment or anything like that, or building up pressure charm, because there's just so much rocks. It's so heavy to hold. So something that you've been holding onto very deeply is definitely going to burst. It's going to bust. It's going to hit its limit this month. And in that release, in that releasing of that pressure, in that giving yourself a little bit more trust, giving yourself a little bit more credit for how capable you are, I think you're going to realize that you have more qualities, more room, more space, more inspiration to play off of than you had before when you were holding so tightly. So I'm not exactly sure what's going to inspire you exactly, but I feel like this has to happen first for that inspiration to come forward, and Pisces season is the perfect time to do it. So overall, those are all of the cards and charms that I have here for you, group 3 here. If you did enjoy this reading, definitely do be sure to give this video a like I mentioned earlier. It really does help the channel, so thank you. And let me know in the comments down below how it really is playing out for you. If you're seeing something differently, that's totally fine. Let me know. I'm always curious to hear your thoughts. And if you're interested in more pick a card readings like this, ones on creativity, art magic, charm casting, educational videos, and others, then definitely feel free to subscribe as I put out new videos every single Monday that might really interest you. Also, I have lots of different readings that you can look into for snail mail readings and digital readings through email or DM that might interest you as well, for any question or query on your mind. But I also like to do specific ones for each month, and as we are finishing up February, I do actually still have some relationship reading slots open. So if you want to look into a specific relationship in your life, whether it's platonic, familial, with a spirit guide, with yourself or others, then do feel free to check those out down below, as the option for those will be closing at the end of February as we actually enter March. And I also have magical spell and ritual papers that I sell as well, that I hand make for each of you that might be useful in your own magic or art magic. And I also create handmade embroidered charm cloths that might be really interesting to you as well if you want for a space that's really sacred for you for your charms. So do feel free to check all of that out down below. It's a great way to support yourself as well as supporting this channel and keeping it running. So thank you to all of those who already have or have left any reviews down below as well on my Instagram. So thank you so much for hanging out here with me, and I'm wishing you the best for March and Pisces season. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.